It's good to be back with you all here at Holy Rosary. This past semester has been pretty tough. It's funny because there's a common saying amongst seminarians that when you get to St. Meinrad, the workload gets easier and higher the farther up you go. But I certainly didn't feel that way this semester. I'm glad I finally put it behind me. When we first got back to St. Meinrad, I was talking to a few of my classmates about their summer experiences. And if I didn't say it before I left, I'm very grateful for the opportunity to do ministry here. I know that some guys had very different experiences than I had, and I'm just thankful for a lot of the opportunities I had this summer to be with you all. Your feedback on my homilies and my ministry helped me to become better at what I do, and God willing, to become a better priest someday. So I've never been a big fan of marathons. Personally, I've never ran it in any of them. It's a little difficult to move this much weight from place to place, yet alone take it along in a timed race. But that's a whole separate issue I'm not going to discuss here. In these marathons, I've been told that there's tents set up right at the halfway mark to cheer on runners as they enter the second leg of the race. I would say that this is a very important tent because it gives the runners who have been pushing hard the whole first leg of the race some encouragement to keep going and keep trying. And for those who are losing steam, it gives them encouragement to kick it in gear and to finish the race admirably. This Sunday, we celebrate Gaudete Sunday. Why do we call this Sunday Gaudete Sunday? Well, in the early church, Advent was 40 days long, as opposed to the 28-ish days that we observe now. Advent was 40 days long because it's supposed to mirror Lent. The idea is that it's a time of anticipation and preparation for Christmas, for the Lord to be born. When they shortened the length of Advent, they kept the traditional feast days and practices associated with it. Gaudete Sunday originally marked the halfway mark of Advent. Similarly to Laetare Sunday in in Lent, this marks the halfway point in Lent of the 40 days. Gaudete translates from the Latin to meaning rejoice and be glad. And in today's readings, there's plenty of that. In our first reading from Zephaniah today, we hear, "Shout for joy, O daughter Zion. Sing joyfully, O Israel. Be glad and exult with all your heart, O daughter Jerusalem." And in our second reading from Paul, we hear, "Rejoice in the Lord always. I shall say again, rejoice." If you compare Advent with Lent, there are many similarities between the two. Advent and Lent are both times of preparation, and in both seasons, we wear the liturgical color purple, and purple is a color of anticipation. As you know, in Advent, we are anticipating the birth of Christ, and in Lent, we are anticipating the death and resurrection of Christ. At this time, we are a little under a week away from Christmas. So I ask you, how's it going? Have you given much thought or effort to this season of anticipation of the birth of Christ? Or have you not really thought about it? Have you been running the race well? Or is it time to kick it into gear? Amid all the gifts being bought for the early Christmas parties and preparing for Santa's arrival on Christmas Day, have you ever stopped to think, what gift am I going to get Jesus? If you haven't thought about it yet, I think John the Baptist in today's gospel might have a few pointers. He says, "Whoever has 2 cloaks should share one with the person who has none. What if you called around to the local homeless shelters and asked if there's anything that hasn't been donated yet?" I know that on a lot of our parishes and stuff like that, there are angel trees, or called angel trees, or gift trees, where they hang the ornaments for the needs of different families. And so the church really participates in gift giving that way. But there's always plot holes, and there's always things that can be forgotten about, and always opportunities to give. If you're not a daily Mass goer, consider going to Mass one extra time this week and offer your intention to the poor and the homeless. In the Gospel, John tells the soldiers, do not practice extortion. Do not falsely accuse anyone, and be satisfied with your wages. During the Christmas season, there's a lot of giving and receiving. I know for myself, there are times when the thought crosses my mind, man, I really wish I really received that gift instead of this one. Or, look at what they have. It's a lot bigger and better than what I have. When we get absorbed into this kind of thinking, we forget that the gift we have received is freely given to us, and someone took time to go out and pick it out just for us. Simply being satisfied with what we receive is a good practice of gratitude and humility. As we finish out this race of Advent, let us finish well and rejoice, remembering to give back just as much as we received as an offering to Jesus on his birthday.